Hey guys, Pastor David with a quick word. Hey, I love coffee. Like, I probably love coffee more than the average person. Like, if you're sitting there today and you're watching, you're saying, I love coffee, you probably love Folgers. There's nothing against Folgers, but I just love coffee a little bit different. So my favorite cup of coffee, no matter where I go, is always a pour over. So I have a few ingredients here today that helps us make the pour over coffee. And so I have my Chemex set and my ground coffee beans, but really it all starts with this, right? It's a coffee bean. It's something so small, but yet there's so much that comes in it. It packs so much flavor. It gives us energy. It's the caffeine bean, right? It's so great. And so we take our grounds and we add it. There's always steps in the process of making a pour over, from adding your grounds to the exact amount of water, to the temperature of the water that's going to brew the coffee beans. And so for me, in this process, there's always the first step. You grind the beans. And then after you grind the beans, you bloom the coffee, which is just a little bit of water to the coffee. So in our relationship with Jesus, it's a lot like this. There's always a step. There's always a process for us going from point A to point B. And sometimes in the process, we want to get ahead of God. We want to get ahead, maybe take a shortcut or take a step that really wasn't required. So when I make my coffee, everything has to be precise. From the moment I start to the moment I finish. It all is part of the process of what needs to be done to make the perfect cup of coffee. Let me read a passage of scripture to you real quick. In Philippians 1:6, it says this, "Be confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it out to completion until the day of Christ." That means that he who started a good work in you, Jesus, when he started that good work in you, he's going to carry it out to completion. So sometimes we get ahead of ourselves in the game. We want to take a step ahead of Jesus, and a lot of times Jesus wants us to take the proper steps. And really that step is this, just the next step of obedience, the next step of what he's calling us to do. Maybe in this time, it's time that we step back for a moment and reconnect with him, to reconnect with the Father and see where we are in the process of becoming who we were intended to be, who we were placed here on this earth to become. And I think it's this. A lot of times for a lot of people, we have so many questions on who am I supposed to be or what am I supposed to become? And I think it comes back to this for me. We're supposed to be Jesus with skin on. Like literally Jesus with skin on each and every day. But it all kind of, at the end of the day, comes back to, are we taking the proper steps in the process? Are we taking time for God to break us apart from something so simple to being something so complex that's going to add energy and life to people, that's going to bring something to someone else that you couldn't have brought on your own? See, we only have that when we're connected with Christ. And so what I ask you today is this: are you connected with Christ? Are you connecting with him today, in this moment, in this season? Whatever you're going through, are you connecting with him? Taking everything back to him, saying, God, I'm in the process of becoming more like your son, Jesus. So in this process, remind me today, how can I be more like him? How can I stay faithful in the process to be the perfect thing that I was intended to be? Just like my coffee. If I skip a step or get ahead of it, then it doesn't taste right. So for us, if we get ahead or you skip a step, we're not who we're supposed to be or who we're intended to be. Today, be encouraged. Be who you were intended to be. Don't get ahead of God. Stay with him. Run in pace with him and become who you were created to be.